Hey guys, we have officially started into the new year today, and I did want to talk to you a little bit about something that is very familiar to a lot of my clients, most people that I consult with, and actually with myself for the last, this is 2020, so well, let's just say about 18 years now, and that is training with chronic pain, either from injury, from illness, or just some random malaise that really can't be pinpointed to have any specific cause. There's a lot of issues that can come up whenever you have chronic pain. Anybody that's suffered with it for any length of time knows that when you've got chronic pain, especially that doesn't seem to have any one cause, it can impact your emotions, it can impact your intellect, it can impact every facet of your life. I've tried and I've found that by staying active through my pain, and most of my clients have found the same, most of my friends have found the same, if you're staying active, whenever you're suffering from that pain, you do feel better. I don't know where to look. I'm just going to look at myself. I'm a narcissist like most everybody else that's in the gym, so I'm just going to stare at me for a while. Hopefully that feels like we're having a conversation here. One thing I have noticed whenever I'm trying to train through chronic pain is that my motivation and my ability to perform in my exercise, that is going to go up and down in a very unpredictable way. There are ways to mitigate that though. Well, let's stick with three since everybody likes threes. It's very psychologically pleasing. The first thing is keeping nutrition in check. The thing I've found the most as far as nutrition that keeps my pain response, or what's a good way to put that, that keeps my inhibition from the pain to a minimum, is making sure that I get enough electrolytes. Now, I recommend most people drink water. I gag whenever I drink a lot of water. When I say a lot of water, anything more than about 8 ounces, I really find it difficult to swallow. So I drink a tremendous amount of Gatorade Zero, Powerade Zero. Anytime I can find some electrolyte mixes, whether or not it has the ketone mixes or what have you, I'm probably going to drink that in favor of the flavorless, awful water. Now, it could be because I grew up in South Arkansas where the water taste is not what you'd call good. It's pretty awful up there. It's worse actually than even North Louisiana. Neither here nor there. Making sure that you get enough electrolytes, for whatever reason, that helps minimize for me how much my pain is going to hold me back. Now, things are still going to hurt. As most everybody knows, because I complain about it all the time, I broke my back. T5, T6, T8. I've got some weird scoliosis stuff in my back. My cervical vertebra have no anterior curvature. It all curves up to my left side. I don't know why. No one will tell me why. There may not be a reason. It might just be one of those weird things. So I have constant pain pretty much everywhere. I get a lot of cramping, especially at any section right before my joints, like right before my knees, right before my elbows. I'll get major, massive knots that have to be broken up with dry needling, lots of heavy-duty massage, chiropractic adjustments, things like that. So I keep my water intake, or I keep my fluid intake and my electrolyte intake very, very high. The second thing is that I have to minimize processed foods, and that includes burnt things. And I'm not a good cook, so I will burn meat quite a bit. Burning is a process, cooking is a process. You want to minimize how much you have to cook that. I found that whenever I'm eating meat, and I do have to vary up my protein sources quite a bit, but I have to also keep in mind how hot I'm cooking it. I couldn't tell you the exact temperature I cook it at, but if I char anything, I have to pick off the char, whatever the burnt section is called. Otherwise, I will have visible swelling. I will hurt worse. I'll have a lot of brain fog from the pain over the next few days. That also means that my favorite two cheat meals, pizza and ice cream, I have to keep to an absolute minimum. Now, I do eat pizza at least once a week. As y'all know, I follow my QDX, my Quick and Dirty Diet Guide, just for hormone regulation. I've worked with, this isn't me just pulling stuff out, I've worked with several endocrinologists. I've read as much of the literature as a layman is really able to understand, or at least someone of my questionable intellect is able to understand. And I found that if I just overdose on my calories, especially my carbohydrates, the only way to do that is with something like pizza or a lot of potatoes. And God, I hate potatoes. I don't like rice. I used to. For whatever reason, it makes me swell up in my chest like a baby bird. T8 pops backwards, and stuff just goes honky. But I have to keep that to a minimum. Same thing with my ice cream. I can't eat very much ice cream now because I also notice, in addition to the swelling and the enhanced pain response, I get very anxious and my heart rate will spike at odd times. Sometimes, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze here, or burp or something. Something will break down. My heart rate will go up, my anxiety will go up. Things that I'm trying to regulate will get unregulated. So that's 2 things so far. We've talked about fluid, electrolytes, and make sure that I've minimized how much I actually eat as far as processed foods. The number 3 thing is making sure that I keep my, make sure that in addition to those electrolytes, in addition to minimizing how much of that processed food that I eat, I also have to salt pretty much everything I eat. Now that could just be because I do sweat quite a bit both through my workouts because I have to train 7 days a week. Doesn't mean I'm lifting weights 7 days a week, but I am going to be working out 7 days a week, primarily through karate. But if I have salt, not like your super fancy pink Himalayan sea salt. I didn't know there was a C in the Himalayas, but hey, that's what the label I usually says. Anything that's got my iodine in it, I'll get straight up table salt as long as it's got iodine, thyroid function, but I also notice that my pain response is a little bit lower whenever I do that. Do I recommend you do that? No. What I recommend you do is say, hey doc, what can I do in my diet to minimize my discomfort in life? They're probably going to tell you the same basic things. Stay hydrated, eat less processed foods, and make sure that you're happy with what you're eating, and it's a diet that you can do on a consistent basis. Whew, almost had a really good sneeze here. But that's what I'm going to talk, that's pretty much all we're going to cover on that today. I say cover, like I'm not just walking around the gym waiting for my next client on January 2nd, 2020. But whenever it comes to chronic pain, this is something I want you to keep in mind. The best thing to do is, because your pain and your response to that pain is going to be inconsistent, is to be consistent with your movements. Because take it from somebody who's been suffering with it for about the last, again, this is 2020, so about 18 years. If you move, typically speaking, in the short term, that chronic pain might get worse. But I have found that the pain that I have to go with, the cramps that I experience while I've been moving, are much, much more tolerable than the stuff that happens whenever, and I'm going to hit decline on that, is much more tolerable than whenever I try to be immobile. Guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. You can comment, send me a DM, private message, text me, whatever you need to do to reach out. If you want to talk about chronic pain and its impact on your life, please let me know.